Welcome back to the channel. Offgrid Nick here, and today we're on a funny topic, and that's why such a handsome young stallion like myself, an outdoor stud, doesn't have a girlfriend and is single and is not in a relationship. So first of all, I'm very much an introverted, so a lot of times I can't gauge on what sort of level I have to do those videos here. I'll give an example. A lot of people like ice cream because they like the taste, but then quite a lot as well maybe just have a memory connected. Their grandmother died and in the last minute she gave her ice cream to them, and that's why they want to eat it, just to have that connection and feel an emotional spark. That's why a lot of people are overweight as well, because we eat more for the feeling than for actually anything else. It's a substitute. Too much off topic, I know. Let me get started. So when I was 14 or 12, somewhere between there, I had a girl actually call me up, and she cried into the phone and she said, "Oh, I'm very much interested in you." And she said, "But I understand that you're not interested in me, and I fully understand that." She was basically talking her down, and it was an awkward situation for me, as how am I supposed to react? Like, no, I wasn't interested. I wasn't aware of it either, but what am I supposed to do now on the phone? It's just awkward. So after that, I was still nice to that person, while she was kind of pretending I was a stupid dude, I would say. So when I got rejected, and I of course have been rejected, I didn't afterwards pretend like I didn't have an interest back at that time. Fair enough, who cares? Maybe I got lucky because the person was not nice and I just had that picture of her that was cool in my head. But I experienced actually women being kind of rude after they expressed their emotions when I wasn't interested, which is sort of a bummer. The answer why I don't have a relationship here is because I don't really meet people, I don't meet women, and I don't put in any effort at all. So now you say, why don't you use online dating? And I have been on Tinder before, and I as well had hookups from Tinder. But the thing is, there were women who had a black picture as a profile picture. And now I got curious, I'm like very observant. So I was like, what guy actually matches a profile that got no picture? So I got a woman profile with a black picture. And my bio was, I like casual, tall men and beers. And now I'll give you 5 seconds so you can write in the comments how many matches I got in 1 month. And I have to say, that was not really in a big city or something. The biggest cities I was in were maybe 50,000 people. So it's not a very populated area. It was 3,500 matches. And out of those 3,500, 1,700 guys wrote me. And a lot of times I just read a bunch, but not all of them for obvious reasons. But a lot of them pretended like they're the only man who's actually writing to me like, I got beers at home. Like, bro, I don't care. I got 50 times that message. Just putting myself into the shoes of that woman. And that gives me the awareness, if I actually as a man now write a woman on Tinder, I'm basically dude 1,600 in her DMs. What does make me stand out? Nothing. I don't have cool pictures of myself. I'm not really interested in taking cool pictures and spark a appealing lifestyle I can sell to them. So I don't do online dating, and I'm not going out of my way to meet anyone, and that's exactly why I don't have a relationship. Further speaking, when I grew up, I wouldn't call my parents' marriage as nice. Like, I actually have zero idea why they stick together. I wouldn't even think they liked each other. And I wouldn't even say they were out of convenience together. Like, I don't know why. I have no really an answer for that. Doesn't really matter. Later they split up. But the thing is, when I look on relationships, there are not so many where I would say this is something I want to have. Of course, that's to a lack of me actually seeing the full pictures. So you kind of have to feel the energy, have to see them, have to see kind of inside their house. You get what I'm saying, and we don't really have that much of humans to say I want to have that. But I stayed with a couple in Australia, and we went gold prospecting a couple of times, and it was just peaceful there. Like, they weren't arguing, they weren't fighting, they weren't setting each other up. I was like, bro, you actually like each other. And I always wondered if they were the same when they were younger, or if they just changed. So I personally have a very low tolerance to be annoyed by people and to be nagged and all that kind of stuff. I don't, and I give an example of an ex-girlfriend. If I would tell her I was in a waiting line in Walmart, like a lot of people stood in a waiting line in Walmart, she would ask, so you've been in Walmart? Yes, that's what I said. Just because I didn't say it exactly like I was in there, how else would I find out there was a queue? And I don't really have the temper to really respond to that, and it goes to annoy me rather quick. The other thing is, women like to upgrade their lifestyle by their man or through their man. And you can see that in your surroundings, you can see that in pop culture and wherever. And I remember Ben Margera from Jackass saying, back in high school no chick cared for me, and now I got heaps. But whatever weird things he did in his private time, I don't know, he maybe smelled his own armpits, or I don't know, he still did them after he was famous. Like, the person who he was didn't really change, did it? He was just famous. And if you become famous and people get interested, guess what? They will leave once you're not famous anymore. I give you another example, Mike Posner. Mike Posner, who had the song Cooler Than You when he was young, and then he was cool and famous. And then he was a fall off. He made a song about pretty much this scenario with I Had a Pill in Ibiza. And then he was back famous, and he said chicks were interested again. I don't really like that. Like, the outside world doesn't really determine who I am. I determine who I am. And I guess I have to, me being here, living recluse and remote. If I would actually value what most people value in society, I would have running water here and electricity. And yeah, you get what I'm saying. But coming back to the Tinder thing, I give you a better understanding how the Tinder stuff changes actually the dynamic between men and women. So just imagine you have a job and 3,500 companies write to you that they're interested. And out of those 3,500, actually write to you with your name in it and personalized that they actually want you to work for them. So now you are just a basic average worker, 5 out of 10, nothing special, nothing unique, not really interesting. Not really not interesting, just average. But you get so many companies asking you to work for them. Well, guess what? You feel like you're something special. You feel you're like a 12 out of 10, even though you are not. And so all that affection that came through the online world, that comes through Instagram, that comes through Tinder, that women actually get, kind of dilutes how and what they actually are. Like, they're nothing special. Just because heaps of dudes write to you doesn't mean anything. Women who nag, because there's the saying, happy wife, happy life. And just imagine you work somewhere at a company, and when you say something, they will make everything that you're happy, and they go far out of their way just so you feel good. Guess what? One day you actually figure out, if they have to do everything I want to have, that means I'm such a high price that they are needy and they need me to work for them. So why don't I get someone who's better? Like, you don't want to be at a job who's needy for you. You want to be a job where you actually, where you can be lucky that you actually got the job. So if you gratificate a woman by her nagging and you're always pulling in and trying to make it work and being nice, doesn't really work out. But then having disagreements is not nice either. So you're kind of in that in between, where you have to find your ways between being the leader, but at the same being not rude and being actually emotional, let's say available. I want to tell a personal story, because sometimes I talk now random stuff, and I had a long distance relationship with a woman I met, like I met her and then I went to another country. And that's actually a reason why I a lot of times didn't date, because I never planned to stay in the area for long, like a year maybe. So what would be the point in liking someone to then have to leave? So now I'm in the first time, with me having the dog, I'm obviously committed being here. So now I actually could have someone where I don't already know I will have to say goodbye very soon. But I had that long distance relationship and she wanted to be more included in my life, which I guess makes sense. So I talked to her from a bar when I had some beers with a co-worker. He talked to his missus and I stayed up till 4 in the morning, and I had a phone call with someone overseas. They had just in the early afternoon when I called them. And I do like walking in the nights. And she knows of that. So sharing information to someone is sharing intimacy. Intimacy doesn't mean you're naked. Me being open on YouTube is to some degree sharing intimacy as well. Of course, being vulnerable. And she would exactly know that I do like night walks. That I do like putting in headphones and just walking in the night, observing the city and feeling the calm of the night. I really much appreciate that. So what she actually did is, she was like, no one is gonna stay up to 4 o'clock. You cheated with that woman, because she checked my WhatsApp status and she knew I was online. And I asked her how she actually figures that, and she said, like I said, oh, no one is up that late. And I told her, first of all, there are hundreds and thousands of women. Why would I have to cheat with that bar woman you hear in the background on the phone, and not any other woman at any other time? Second of all, you can't ask me for something that makes your life better, more inclusion, and then straight up punish me for giving you that. And third of all, you can't create ideas in your head that I cheated or whatsoever and expect me to be your monkey who jumps through all hoops and ensures it didn't happen. Like, where's the limit? Like, if you don't trust, you don't trust. And if you don't trust and I tell you can trust, guess what? You still shouldn't trust. A liar will not say he's a liar, he's a liar. So a couple of days later, I told her though I like night walks, and she's actually aware of that. So a couple of days later, she told me she's gonna go, and she has been, at a fest where her ex-boyfriend was in a small village. And I was like, this sounds a bit weird. You don't like that village and you don't want to be there. And she said, oh yeah, but I got invited by a friend and we had a dance evening there. I was like, cool. I'm not really a jealous person, but I kind of smelled that she just made it up. And then the next day she told me, oh, yesterday evening I was and I was like, wait, what? You said you were at that party. She was like, no, I just made that up to hurt you, so you actually would feel how I felt that other night. And I was like, bro, even if that would work and we can't make people feel the same way we did by causing them the same harm, and it's not really nice either. Now there's an imbalance because you pretty much lied. Like, now you're a self-claimed proven liar. Like, what do you expect here? So that didn't work out and we ended it. But what a trouble, what a hustle, for what? I personally like to travel quick and I don't have much luggage. So if I travel with someone, some woman, she will have a huge bag. I have to carry it up the stairs as I don't want to wait and she's slow. And then you have to do thousands of things that you don't want to do just for what? Because she has to do them. And then you want to sit somewhere in peace and she gets nervous and she starts to annoy you. Oh, we have to go to the gate now. They said we have to go. How often have you flown? How often did I fly? Guess what? I'm not the first time here. It's all good. And it gets so much more stressful. And if I get a chick here, I for obvious reasons have to change my lifestyle, as she will sooner or later ask me for running water. If I wanted running water, I would have running water. And I read a lot of books. 2, just kidding, not so many, but some. And the story goes often the same. A man and a woman go somewhere and live off the land. Woman gets bored, woman leaves, man stays there alone. Like, it's all a trailer till it starts and then it's actually real life. So I can tell you here, someone who came actually from another country, immigrated with his girlfriend. I told him, look, you have to be actually careful because it's all sunflowers and who knows, in a couple of weeks, if she doesn't find someone and she's bored, she's gonna go back and leaves. And I'm not much in touch with that person, but I actually heard she did leave. Speaking about, let's say, some neighbor here, he has the home of his parents and he has his actual place where he lives now, and the parents are dead, and he wants to move here. The missus doesn't want to move here because she doesn't want to be secluded being here in the woods. Not because it's scary, I assume because she rather has that little town life. So he comes here every couple of days to fix everything up and take care of the whole thing. But his life would be so much nicer if he actually would be able to move here. Women don't really like remoteness. Women don't really like calm. That's why they like to nag. I have misplaced my wallet, and I've misplaced it again a half a year later. And then I spoke to a woman and she was like, you remember? 6 months ago you lost it. What are you trying to say? Why do you want to implement I'm a retard who loses his wallet? Like, why do you want to pull me down, pull me up? Like, I get it makes sense if you're in a household together and you get super abusive that you lost your wallet. Of course, then you should speak up and say, make sure you don't lose it, get a beeper on your wallet, get a tracker. But that wasn't the case. And the list goes on. Women like to nag. And women will not get happy by giving them what they want. Because if you do that, then they figure, cool, I can actually get a better job. This job is not reliable. They have to bend down just to keep me. They don't have any options. And no one wants to have someone who doesn't have any options. That's the difference between choosing a way and being hostile. If you can't choose the way you want to do something, then it's hostile and it's not likable. But if you actually choose something, it can be the same scenario, but you actually appreciate it and like it. And I have rejected women a bunch of times. Sometimes I was even not aware they were interested, as I saw them as a friend and I wasn't in any romantic interest. And they would always be rude after that. And I'll give an example. Some friends of mine or sisters of a friend of mine were like, oh, this girl wants to meet you and you want to spend time with her and da. And my view on that woman wasn't the best, as I found her very childish, and I started to work. She was still in school. Couple months later, we're kind of getting left in the garage. Like someone wants to buy something and it's like, oh, I can leave you two here. And she's like, nah, I don't like this guy. I know, and it's straight up rude. Like, have I been rude and said, oh look, you're fucking behaving like a 10 years old and I don't want to deal with that stuff? Nah, I was nice. And she just put the flamethrower onto me, or tried, because I rejected her. Which kind of shows the true spirit. And I personally don't really think I'm smarter than average. And what I mean is, if so many people get married and they think that's the love of their life and that will be forever, and then they get actually divorced, guess what? Why shouldn't I be one of them who misjudged the situation? 100% I will be. And probably it wasn't the wrong situation, it just grew out to be the wrong situation. But if women orientate them upwards and want to get an upgrade through their relationship, guess what? If I divorce, I get the negatives. And if you got children, women can take, I don't want children anyways, but if you would have children, women can take them. And if you divorce her, guess what? She has a lot of leverage on you. As soon as you're married, the woman has 10 times more leverage than you are, or than you have. So a lot of men suffer. When I told on the video, I'm a loner, I'm 28 years old. That's 90% men who watched it. Usually I got 70 to 30%. So loneliness is a man topic. Women are not lonely. And that's why women don't want to live remote. And it doesn't really fit my lifestyle. So if I meet a cool chick, yeah, 100% I'm down. Could be cool, could be nice. How far do I want to change myself to make that work though? And I guess I'm still flexible as the dog is good, so I still can go to that girlfriend and leave the dog and have the dog sleep there. That is actually a possibility, so I'm not stuck to here. But does a woman actually want to live this lifestyle? Or live this lifestyle for long? I guess not. I pretty much said everything, and it's already too long anyways. I feel like that's what I want to say because I spoke about marriage. In today's age, marriage is pretty much the same as a relationship. Like, people just break it anyways. It's just you have more negative repercussions. And cheating. When men cheat, men are always the asshole. When women cheat, and that's actually something, I spoke to that woman who accused me of cheating with that barmaid as well. She actually told me she has cheated before on a partner. I was like, what the fuck, why? And she said she had to feel alive and she was suffering so much that she just had to do it to be able to feel alive and survive. But in other words, it's the man's fault for not being and making her and keeping her alive. So, yeah, women have to be accountable. Women don't have to be accountable in today's world, as they got 1,700 people writing for them, rooting for them, want to have them. They can feel special while having higher standards, being 6 foot. I'm 6'4", I'm the man, I'm the stallion. Just joking, I'm a little bit overweight, but to me, if you need the improvement of the social hierarchy, that puts you under the social hierarchy. If you don't want to be the coolest slave, you want to be the free man who doesn't care about the slave's opinion. I don't want to be in a social hierarchy where I'm low or high. Like, what the fuck do I let myself judge of those bigots. Like, I don't really care, bro. Like, I have to live my life. I have to get up. I have to be happy. Not you. Like, you can't use your standard on mine. And as well as I spoke in the other video, standards do change. They were totally different 20 years ago. So you can't get your life dictated by the bigger mass just because they decide this is cool now. Fashion. Like, bro, I'm not doing fashion. To some degree I want to look cool, 100%. And I do have nice clothes. I do have nice belt buckles. Countryman. But I don't let myself get judged by the outside world. Why? Why should I? It doesn't really make sense. And I think that's the video. I spoke enough. I'll see you in the next one.